In this video, I'm going to show you how to replace your fuel pump on your Fiat 500. It's located under the rear seat. Using a 7mm socket, we're going to take out this bolt for our fuse panel. Set it aside, and then we're going to slide this fuse relay box up. We're going to go to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 spaces down to this 15 amp fuse, and we're going to remove it. That's the fuel pump fuse. Set that off to the side. Now we're going to get in our vehicle. If it doesn't start, you're just going to crank it over a few times. If it does start and run for a little while, that's okay. Just let it run till it stops running. All right, we have relieved our fuel pressure, so now we can disconnect our negative battery terminal. To remove your negative battery terminal, you're going to use a 10mm socket or wrench and loosen the nut. You can wiggle it off now after it loosens and put it aside. Open up your little door and take off your gas cap to relieve the pressure. We're going to remove our rear seat. Using a 16mm socket, we're going to take out these 2 bolts, one here and one here. Once you take out those 2 bottom bolts, you can pick the seat up, push the seat belts down, and remove the seat. Using a Phillips head, we're going to take out these 4 screws. Our screws seem to be somewhat stuck in here. I'm going to help my screw out here by applying a little pressure underneath it. Hopefully I can get it out. There we go. And our last one. There we go. Once you get those 4 screws out, I'm going to take this little rubber grommet off and pick up our plate here. You may need to dry it up with a flathead screwdriver or a pry bar of some sort. Now we're going to disconnect our connector. You're just going to push this yellow tab forward and unplug it. Set that to the side. Now we're going to disconnect our lines here. You're going to push in on these 2 gray connectors, put a rag over it, so in case it does have any pressure in there, you don't want to get sprayed in the face. So after you push them together, you're going to pull that line off. And do the same on this one. Pull out this clip and push in on this tab, and then remove this line. I'm going to move that. And now we're going to remove this one. So we've already pulled out our blue clip here, and you're going to push in the top, and you're going to pull it off. Again, have a rag handy. Now that you're all disconnected, we're going to take this ring off. To do that, we're going to use a hammer and a brass punch, and we're going to turn this way so we can pull the fuel pump out. We're going to go counterclockwise with a brass punch and a hammer. Alright, to get this ring off, you're going to need a tool like this. I did use a hammer and a brass punch to loosen everything up because we have a pretty rusty situation. Once you do that, you're going to lock this in to these grooves here. You're going to have to get your stuff out of the way, all the lines. So once you lock it in on these 2, then you have one in the back that you're going to lock it into, and it's going to slide into these little notches. Once it's locked in, you're going to use a ratchet with a 1/2 inch fitting there. And you're just going to go counterclockwise or to the left to loosen it up. Once you do that, it should pop right up. And then you can take this ring off. I'll move my lines out of the way, set them aside. They don't give you a whole bunch of room here, so be patient. Make sure you don't do anything weird to your wire. Now you're going to shimmy it off. So push this side down and push this side up to get it out. Again, it's pretty tight. Make sure you have a drip pan next to you to catch any gas. And also, you're going to want to drain this out before you take it out completely. So just tip it off to the side and try to get rid of any fuel that's in the fuel pump itself. Remove your gasket and replace it. Make sure you clean this area really well. Make sure it doesn't fall in the tank, whatever you're cleaning off. And now we're going to put our gasket on. And now we're going to put our fuel pump in. To do that, move your lines out of the way. You're going to go float first. Tip it in. And you're going to get it to about here. And let it fall in. We're going to put it in the same way it came out. The lines were facing this way, and the connector was going that way. You also have this as a guide, and that goes right here. It is a tight fit, so be patient, and it should drop in eventually. Alright, once you are lined up, you're going to notice that you're going to have to push it down like this and put your ring on. There's a line here to show you where it lines up. I'm going to push my lines off to the side and try to get this front part in first. Should I say the part that's leading towards the back of the car. Once you get it past the seat, it gets much easier. Then you can shimmy it down. Again, this line has to line up with that one, so move it accordingly. And this plastic piece has to be right here. Alright, push down on the pump, keep the pressure on, move your metal ring into where it belongs. Now I'm going to use a punch and just try to push this all the way. And also I'll use my ratchet with my special tool to lock it in after. So I'm holding my brass punch right here to help push down and move it at the same time. And tap it on the other side until it's locked in place. So now we're going to turn this clockwise. You're going to need to apply pressure as you do it. So you're going to push down and then turn it to the right. Alright, make sure that it's all lined up with this middle notch. Using your brass punch, you can hit here, you can hit here, here, and just go all the way around until it snaps into place. Alright, so now we're going to connect our lines. I'm going to push it in and push in this blue part. That'll lock it in. I'm going to take this line, make sure that the gray clip is lined up. Make sure you hear that click. Make sure they're both secure, and then we're going to do this one. Alright, going to press this one in like that. Make sure it locks in by pushing that in. Our little piece here got a little broken, brittle plastic. Just make sure that your line is locked in. Clean off the area. Let that cleaner do its job. Use a rag and connect your connector. Press it on and then push your yellow piece forward to lock it in. Feels good. Alright, so let's put our rubber grommet back in for our wires. I did put a little silicone paste on there to help me since rubber gets a little strange after it's aged a bit. So if you need two, you can as well. Just wipe off the excess when you're done. And while you're at it, you might as well clean up any debris that may be on that cover. Alright, so let's line it up and put in our screws. There'll be 4 of them, one here, 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 and here. And do the other two. Get your back seat ready to go. You're going to line up your seat belts. Pick up the bench seat like this and feed them through. They only go one way. There's a wider side and a skinnier side, so make sure you put them in the right way. Once you get those in, you can push down on the seat, pull them up. Make sure your holes line up for your bolts underneath. Now you can put your bolt in. Hand tighten it and do the same on the other side. You may have to apply pressure to the seat in order for it to line up properly. And let's tighten these down. Make sure they're super tight. So tighten it up and then go about a quarter of a turn more. Now we're going to put our gas cap back on. Make sure you hear that click and shut the door. Now we can put our fuel pump fuse back in. It's 8 fuses down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now we're going to slide our cover on. It slides in the little slots that it provides, and we can put our bolt in. Let's tighten that up with our 7mm. Wrist tight's good to put your negative battery terminal on. I'm going to place it. Make sure it's seated all the way down, and you're going to tighten this nut. Make sure it's wrist tight, nice and snug. Give it the wiggle test. If it doesn't move, you're good to go. All right, so get in your car, and it's time to prime the fuel pump. So we're going to turn the key on without starting the vehicle. If you don't hear a hum coming from your back seat, then your fuel pump isn't working. Maybe you forgot to connect something, so you should be able to hear a hum. So after you've cycled the key a few times, I would say 3 or 4 times, you can go ahead and try and start the vehicle. All right, you're good to go. Take it for a road test.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.